The Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline is quickly starting to expand how far in the near future the franchise is going to be. Now, of course, due to multiple setbacks, due to a pandemic and various other things that got in the way, delays, and so forth, unfortunately, they are catching up with the 3 to 4 year buffer that they gave themselves. So it looks like we're expecting another slight time jump to happen in the MCU over the course of the next year or two. So let's talk about how big. So in terms of what happens after Avengers Endgame, there's a lot to talk about because of so many things happening in the MCU, so many new directions, so many pieces of content that take place during that 6 months after Avengers Endgame, all leading up to the ending of WandaVision, then next up Doctor Strange. Well, from what we understand, Doctor Strange is going to be set sometime after the events of Spider-Man. Now, when you combine what James Gunn said, that it's going to have been some time since we last saw the Guardians, that we're going to have a more adult Groot. If you look at the reports and the rumors and even slight confirmations from multiple people now, that when we get to Black Panther Wakanda Forever, years will have gone by. We're going to learn that T'Challa had a son and then possibly passed away right after that. I mean, this is quite a big departure from going directly from, hey, check it out, it's a few weeks after Endgame to a few months to, well, now it does seem like we are moving forward. And apparently from what people are saying and from what we can tell that they're saying in general in regards to what happens next and the timelines, the fracturing of everything, Kang, Quantumania, multiverses, convergences, whatever you will. It sounds like that time is going to kind of come to another standstill while also trying to jump a little ahead so they have a little bit of a, buffer to be able to tell more stories. And it does sound like, if you combine everything everybody said, that we're looking at a 2.5 to 4.5 year time jump between multiple projects coming up. And I think this is honestly great. Again, it puts them ahead of schedule. Because the whole reason they did that 5-year thing and decided to jump forward with time was so they could fill out stories and give us a little bit of breathing room and kind of take their time and be ahead of where real life is. But by the time some of these projects come out now, the distant year that we can look forward to of 2023 will be 2023. So bumping it to 2026, 2027 honestly does make sense because they want to stay ahead. This is how the MCU was back in the day, and then everything kind of got, I guess, truncated and shortened into this span of confusing, I guess, history, thanks to Spider-Man Homecoming and various quotes throughout the different films of how long it's been that kind of convoluted the timeline. So it looks like they're trying to definitely play with that a little bit, and I appreciate it. Everybody looks at the MCU and goes, they made an error there with that little time thing, and they're trying to fix that. Maybe they'll explain it with some sort of time manipulation or Kang or little things that are popping up that are just strange in the timeline that they can say, well, that was because of this. It does make sense, but ultimately I think jumping forward gives them more creative freedom, and I think that's smart. So it does sound like they're going to do it, and honestly, I'm okay with it. It sounds good. Move us a little forward, just stop moving us backwards. Stop talking about 5 years. We get it. The blip, the snap, all right. Move on.